Hello!
Hello, world. How are you?
And we're all mixed up again. Awesome.
No.
Oh, wait, no. You moved the nameplace to the top now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, welcome everybody to a special Wednesday night edition of Ramshackle Production presents a Baleful Hell. This is part of the Genji offshoot arc, making up some time and experience for Genji while the real-life Genji was caring for his newborn child. So where we left off Sunday evening, the party has entered into a fort or some type of a fortress located in the central regions of Cholt in a skull rock cavern where they were able to encounter some type of symbiotic mix between the forces of Genji's once best friend, now turned nemesis Hanzo, his samurai and ninja warriors, and then some type of an earth cult who have, we assume, probably been residing here long before Hanzo and his forces came here. There are special harmonic resonant crystals that grow within this cave, a special type of mud that is extraplanar, and they seem to have been left at peace, somewhat of a tenuous peace, as they have found dead guards for Hanzo's folks in the bewildering cave section where there were several of these jade and lavender kind of violet colored crystals located around there. And they've ventured forth, pulled into a dastardly ambush where Genji spied his sister, ran down a hallway, and Ninja were able to jump out from hiding and come in contact. And that's actually where we're going to be picking up. The last body has fallen. We have Erdos, who is unconscious but stable, laying on the ground. Pachua, severely wounded. His Charlie horse that he received while fighting the muscle strains, somewhat receding as he's getting some electrolytes into his body. Genji's ancestral blade has snapped, and he is on the eve of challenging and hopefully being able to defeat this longtime friend, now turned enemy. Gentlemen, what are your actions?
So first thing I'm going to do is have one of these tasty and always delicious Cinnabon Delights from Taco Bell.
That's it's a dangerous move.
But I think what we talked about last time is stacking the bodies up kind of in that back where the debris is on the map right now. Stacking them up in the very back there, moving the debris up a couple of squares to make room for everybody, and we're going to try to get a rest in.
All right. So I need you guys to roll a survival check to be able to, move the bodies and kind of camouflage the area going forward. So Pachua with an 11. What do you guys have?
I can give you Can I give skilled assistance to Erdos for that?
I'm unconscious.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Oh, sure.
No, you can't.
Do you have any healing potions on your? I'm gonna search him real quick, see if he has any healing potions on him.
He does not.
I don't know if okay, great.
He's got some poop though.
Probably got a lot of that.
And mud.
Oh. All right. I'm gonna turn the brightness down here a little bit. So that way I don't come out as washed out. Man.
All right, so I'm going to pick up his body and
I'll go ahead and roll
carry him over there.
Roll.
Okay.
First, before I start moving any of the corpses.
Okay.
$22, baby.
Nice. Okay, so Erdos's body is moved back here. Pachua moves it. And we'll have him kind of. We'll move you back up here, and we'll say the square that Genji occupies is the kind of where the barricade is currently located. Are you going to take a short rest? Are you going to attempt a long rest? With that 22, we'll say that you've been able to stack up the supplies there. Obvious that, hey, there's supplies back here. Not obvious that they've been moved.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
I'll solicit input from from Pachwa, but I think we need a long rest.
Yeah. No, I'm fucked up, and Erdos is unconscious here. I think we need to take a minute here and collect ourselves.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Are you guys going to do any type of a watch schedule, or just try to bed down and rest?
I think we do need to try a watch schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. After the first hour, I can be conscious again.
Okay.
And contribute. So I could take second or third watch.
Okay. I'll take the last one, but the last watch. But actually, what time of day is it?
You guys would have entered into the cave roughly 2:30 at the latest. With the amount of conflict that you guys have been going on, it's probably around 6 p.m. At this point.
And the 8 a.m. would put us at 4 o'clock in the morning. No, but 2 a.m. Okay, yeah. I'll take either first or second watch, depending on, and then I think we'll let Erdos take third watch at that point. Because it's not going to be time for my morning ritual by the time third watch ends up anyway. So.
Okay.
Okay. You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
All right. Go ahead and roll Genji a perception check.
23.
Very nice. So as you instantly hear nearly Pachwa start getting into a restful breathing routine as he is immediately unconscious and asleep, you are listening out. You're hearing some footsteps to what would be the east, and you're hearing chanting going on from deeper in the cave. Sounding similar to some of the whispered chants that you heard Geffen Cauldry making as he was going. Are you casting a spell, Erdos?
It's after the first hour. That's using all my hit dice in the first hour to see how many hit points I got back. So if anything happens on my watch, how many hit points I'd have, which is full.
Very good.
So
yeah.
Since one of our viewers, 44, decided to call out that Erdos is dead.
So it's nice to know that you can go from almost dead to being in perfect health within an hour in D&D. I like that.
Have you ever taken a cat nap before? I do them often. It's fantastic. Yeah. So basically the chanting that you hear goes on, and so you're thinking, it's late afternoon prayer that some of these cultists are having. You don't hear much more than that. As your watch comes to an end, you haven't had any traffic in this hallway specifically where these prayer nooks are called out, and you have the harmonic resonant crystals coming out of the wall. Nobody's come to access these. Next up.
Pachwa.
Perception check.
Yes.
Ooh.
Bleh. Bleh.
That ain't too good.
That's not good at all.
Quick point of order. Did I get a long rest in, or do I have to wait until the full 3
You need to go at least 4 hours until a long rest takes place. You can use hit dice as Erdos has up until we get to kind of that 4 hour mark, and then I'll say you guys are fully healed if you commit to the rest of the long rest.
All right, I'll wait then.
Okay. So as you are at the very back of the area where, unless you and Genji, we'll go ahead and have you and Genji switch places.
Right.
And so you're looking out. Genji passes on to you that he heard what sounded like a service that maybe the cult had, evening communion or something along the lines, similar to what you heard Geffen Cauldry doing whenever he was in near the mud whirlpool. A lot of that same kind of incantation. You start hearing on your watch the sounds of armor, and whenever Genji is cursed under his breath, since you haven't really heard Kazakurin spoken, you can hear some of that, but you don't really intuit what's being said or where it's coming from. It just seems to be bouncing off the walls.
Can I tell how many voices it is, or is it?
It's too muffled for what you can hear.
All right.
Going forward.
I guess I'm gonna get up again. Back up against this barricade we built, and brandish my short sword and my rapier.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you're on the hidden side of the barricade right now, just so you're aware of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And not long into your watch after you had heard that, you see a individual come walking up into the hallway. He's carrying a torch and comes in. Let me get him spun. And you see him kneel down. Apparently, this one is his specific prayer nook. And you hear him start to speak, and the crystals start to throb as he's talking. And that is the end of your watch. Erdos, as you're shooken awake, last thing you remember, you were surrounded by ninjas, and feeling somebody shaking you from the chest is quite alarming. You pop up with a startle. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, not to start screaming at the shake, please.
Great.
Okay, yeah. So you're able to control yourself immediately. You were in relief since it was Pachua who was the one that was shaking you awake. Genji, asleep at the back. From where you were laying, you can hear absent chanting. Pachua lets you know that this has been going on for about 30 minutes. And I need you to roll a perception check for your watch.
There we go.
Very nice. So as your watch begins, you can hear more Kazakurin being spoken. This is a language you've never heard before. It's something that you've heard Genji in your short time with him begin to kind of mutter as he was working his jaw out the first morning that you guys were all together from his wound. You hear that kind of loudly muttered, the sound of orders or something being given, and a individual comes up with a spear brandished and points down at this cultist, and it looks as if he is being arrested.
So there's a guy that just walked up and is arresting the cultist. How far into the rest are we?
You guys would be like hour 5 or 6.
So I wouldn't have my spells back yet.
No.
Okay. Can I recognize? Well, I wouldn't know shit. I lived in the jungle. Does he have any emblems or heraldry on him?
He looks similar to the guards that you first saw whenever you guys entered into this cave.
Oh, okay. Then I'm just gonna stay hunkered down behind the hidden area and try to be as quiet as I can.
Okay. So he starts yelling at the guy. The cultist turns around, and with the weighted end of the spear, he kind of does a pistol whip style attack on him, pops the guy in the jaw, and the man slowly whimpers, and a second one of these guards comes around the corner, and they drag him away.
Looks like the cultists are getting to blame for those ninja we killed.
I ain't saying shit.
Yeah. That's what it looks like. Snitches get stitches.
Yeah, just being quiet, hunkering down, waiting for everyone to finish their rest.
Okay. And it gets to the point where you start to not feel as taxed and as worked over as you were before. You start to feel a stronger grasp with nature around you. And the long rest has concluded, so you guys can all get your abilities and your health back.
Yay! This pleases me.
Dude, listen to that mechanical keyboard.
Seriously,
go. Do you like that?
That's good.
You like that?
Good, yeah.
I'm engaging with our viewing audience, guys. That's what's going on right here.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So it's after midnight, and you've been hearing as Erdos has been waking you guys up, commotion and a ruckus throughout the rest of the cave.
Can you describe the ruckus?
It's done been broughten. The sounds are of cursing and armored individuals moving about. The sounds of the clanking of the plates of their splint mail, kind of echoing off the walls, coming to you.
All right. So quietly, I'm just gonna look back at the two. Boss and Ninja Dude. Thanks for getting me up.
What did you go come to me?
Oh, sorry, Master Genji. You guys are great, man. They whipped the shit out of me. Wasn't expecting that, but you showed them, huh? DM, do I recognize? Do I see? Do I happen to notice that Genji is unarmed at this point?
No.
Okay. So what happened? Obviously they pounded the shit out of me. Did you get him?
Hey, we have finished off this shinobi, but I have done a great disservice and dishonor to my ancestors.
What? Did you poop your pants? Cause that happens.
At this point, pooping my pants would be an upgrade.
And speaking of pooped pants, Erdos, as you are looking about, you're laying on the bodies of the four ninja that you guys had killed, instead of on the ground.
So they're just underneath me?
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm gonna as Genji's saying this, I'm gonna kind of look down and pull out my dagger, which it's not so much as a dagger as it is just a really sharp piece of glass with some twine wrapped around the edge, and I'm gonna start cutting off the noses of the dead ninjas. Yeah, so these guys, they really mess with us. And I start putting the noses in my pockets. And so there's like blood and gore and stuff on my hands and pants. I use the word loosely now.
In the tradition of the very wise druidic prophet Colus Maximus, you have pleased nature by abusing the corpses.
That's funny.
Yes, right. Abuse the corpses. That's he learned well from his FPS mentor. So now that those guys are dead, clearly, I wasn't your sister. What do we do now, guys?
We continue our search.
Yeah. Boss.
Only
I
at
guess we
this
keep
point,
looking.
I will need. In the Shinobi, they didn't have any kind of like ninja toe or other swords on them or anything.
Nobody bothered to investigate the corpses. You guys just moved them.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm investigating their noses.
Let's. I'd like to search them real quick to see if there's a weapon I can scavenge.
Roll an investigation check. Erdos, you find them to be quite nasally.
Investigation. All right. This is.
Most of them suffering from sinus infections since they don't normally live underground. The mold really getting to their respiratory systems.
12 on the investigation check.
Okay, yeah, so looking through, you find one Shinto blade that is serviceable. The others have been, the handles have been heft and cleaved from your spirited assault. And then there is one katana blade that is serviceable as well.
Okay. One Shoto, like the short.
Yes,
short blade.
there's one, and then a longer katana.
Okay. So for D&D turn purposes, that means there's a short sword and a long sword.
Yes.
Okay, I'll take the long sword.
Why?
So I'll
why you
inspect
taking
it real
their weapons?
quick. Well, mine has been destroyed.
Well, you broke your sharp thing?
Well, yes.
Ow.
To my shame and eternal dishonor, I have destroyed the blade of my ancestor.
Aw, I got a trick. Let me see that thing.
Okay, I'll hand over the pieces of the Nodachi, or the Odachi rather, to him.
Okay.
Aw, this is super easy. And so I reach in my pocket and I pull out a clump of.
One sec. Genji, roll a history check.
Okay. No idea what my history bonus is. +1. All right. $15.
So, in Kazakuran and samurai lore, the broken blade is typically not something that you remake. Once the blade broke, the spiritual blessing of your guardians and your ancestors, it's oft believed that they have abandoned that blade, which caused it to break. It's up to you how devoutly you follow. If you think that that's just not practical, if you are a devout follower, this will have no honor impact one way or the other, just flavor for you to decide what to do with, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think Genji would follow that rather strictly. As devout as he otherwise is, I don't think he could. I have a hard time saying he could suspend. Yeah, I could suspend one aspect of that faith system while not suspending any of the rest of it. So
typically you would find a hallowed ground that has been consecrated or blessed, and bury it as it is the representation of your family, and thus the broken body must be returned to the earth.
Okay, so I'll quickly interrupt Erdos, and I'll say to him, "I am sorry, my friend, but I cannot allow you to mend this weapon. The spirit has left it, and though you make it whole again, it will be empty and without soul. I must lay it to rest as I would one of my honored ancestors."
And
take a inspiration for that. That was well done.
Ernest goes, "Ah, man!" And you look and you see this clump of like grass and stick and mud/poop in one hand, and then three of the noses from the dead ninja in the other hand, with like blood dripping between his fingers. All right, and he just puts it back in his pocket.
You are a very strange individual.
I've been in the jungle a long time.
I can.
Erdos taking advantage for that. That's funny.
Okay, so I'll quickly inspect the ninja toe that I picked up, and longsword's what, 1d8 plus strength, right?
I've actually got
or maybe it's
on a
D10.
stat block. One sec.
Okay.
I'll look it up.
So it is 1d10 plus whatever your strength bonus is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's versatile,
So-
right? So it's 1d10 if he uses it. Is that right? No. Sorry.
No,
Continue.
that would be a bastard
That's
sword.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, I'll quickly inspect it to make sure it's at least serviceable, and then stick it through the sash at my waist, much like the Odachi scabbard is.
So as you look it over, give me an investigation check.
Okay.
No, this DM does not always hand out inspirations like candy. Just when
12.
his players do a good job.
Am I being criticized for being a gentle soul?
I wouldn't say criticized.
I think someone's
12?
jealous.
Yeah.
12, correct, on the investigation.
All right, so as you look this over, the wrap that goes around the grip is jade, kind of woven in with a black with light flecks of gold through the ribbon that then is tied. Ribbon's, I think, a bad word for it, but the cloth that is used to be braided across the grip is set up like that. The rest of it is not adorned, and any type of metal that was once shiny on this has been burnt and sooted so that it would be muted and not something that you would want to carry for stealth operations.
Oh, so it's it's been hit with a smudge pot, and now it's subdued for light discipline. That's what you're telling me.
Indeed.
Okay.
Indeed.
All right, makes sense. Okay, so serviceable enough as a weapon, but nothing to get excited about.
Yeah. Unless you're into smudged out weapons.
So we should probably. I mean, we've been. There's a guy that came by and they arrested the cultists. It looked like the guards when we first got here. So I think there's probably some stuff going on. We should probably go check it out. Probably. I don't know. Your sister though, right? She's here somewhere.
I believe so, but we will only know once we search this cave.
What do you think, boss? What do we do?
Let's move out.
Roll out. Roll out. All right. So yeah, I guess we can head south, and that's where the cave kind of branches off to the east, correct?
Yes. So you've got two ways to go north. If you remember from where you came in at this one, and then where you came across the stone bridge, it continued up north as well.
Okay. Let's peek over there real quick. I suspect that's that congregation area where the cultists are, but if what the Odo says is true, it is possible that they are no longer there, as they have all been arrested. Unfortunately, it looks like they have taken their blame for our justice that we have brought to the Jade Karan Shinobi.
It's unfortunate. I will sneak up that passageway.
All right, give me a stealth check. First to exit from cover, and then secondly to continue down the hallway.
18.
Okay, so Pachua again deftly moves and kind of does a bunny hop up over the barricade and starts his way down the hallway. Genji and Erdos, stealth checks, please.
Well, if I wait here, do I need to make a stealth check?
Yeah, to exit from cover.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Since you're in a kind of a cramped location going up over the...
Yep.
18 for Erdos. So Erdos, not really that worse for wear following his movements about.
11 for Genji.
Genji gets over. The DC on that was just a 7.
Oh, nice.
Not as deft as everybody else, but gets up and over. So, Pachua, as you start entering into this room, give me one more check coming in here.
Stealth check?
Yes, sir.
17.
Yeah, so just fine. You come walking in here, and as you turn the corner, you can see a passageway due east of you that seems to sink down a little bit and continues into another chamber. To the southeast, you can see a area likely that goes down to where the stone bridge was, and then there's a way northeast and northwest out of this room. Boulders have been used to build crude roofless enclosures similar to pens, 3 to the north and 3 to the south. Odd saddles and harnesses are piled in the middle of the cave, while spears and goads lean against the walls. So whenever I say the saddles here are interesting to you, they're not like what you would see a horse be used with, but Pachua, from your adept background racing dinosaurs, you know these to be used in mounting some type of a lizard with mild to large back spines coming up out of them.
Do I notice any tracks or anything on the ground in here?
Yeah, make a survival check.
Hot shit, 4. Yeah.
So as you're looking around, it's very dry in here, and there's not a lot of dust on the ground. So really being able to read bare stone is difficult for you to be able to look around in.
Okay. Well, I guess where are these guys still that far behind me?
No, I was trying to drag myself up to the entryway here,
okay.
but it was lagging on me a little bit. I couldn't really pull my. There it goes.
So just a quick technical point of order here. For some reason, so I'm getting on my screen on Roll D20 or my personal player screen, I can see from like Pachua, his line of sight is showing up on mine, but Erdos does not seem to be showing up on mine. I don't know if there's anything we do about that.
Yeah, let me. No, I can look real quick, make sure that no, all players can see it.
Okay. That's weird. All right, we'll worry about it later because what I'm seeing on the stream is slightly different than what I see on my personal screen, but that's okay. It's not big
Okay.
deal.
Hey, boss. What's going on?
I don't know. This looks like some kind of dinosaur stable of some sort.
Oh, fuck it. Yeah, you gotta watch them.
Yeah, except there's no dinosaurs in it, which means they're either out looking for us or they could be coming back soon, so we should get moving.
All right. Lead the way, boss.
I guess I will sneak first up to this north passageway up here, north east side, I guess.
I'm gonna go ahead
stealth
and
check
move into the room.
Okay.
I gotta move here. There we go.
23.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so I'll keep creeping around the corner here, looking for traps as well as I go.
Okay. Stop there. Make a perception check.
$24.
Very good. So, as you are looking around, you see a collection of holes in the side of the walls, 4 in particular that really catch your eye.
How high off the ground are they roughly?
At varying heights. As you're walking through here, imagine the cave kind of goes up and down. There's a little bit of undulation to it, and as you're turning to the right, coming down, you can see some of the geodes in the walls. Their light spilling out, and some of the softer walled areas have little holes burrowed into them. 4 of these, some up towards the ceiling, some at ground level, kind of catch your eye.
What's interesting about these 4?
How circular they are.
Okay. I checked the floor. Are there any kind of pressure plates anywhere near in line with the way these holes seem to be aimed?
Roll a investigation check.
$19.
Yeah. So in
Oh!
front of your foot.
Thank you, JCVIM, for the follow. Appreciate that.
In front of your foot, these aren't really like hewn stones that have been laid, but you see, certain areas where the rock is broken and very small fissures kind of weave its way through, like really old concrete. In a way where you see cracks, and some of them are more exacerbated than others. Right in center mass of the passageway, you see a rather substantial, almost octagonal shape in the ground that's cut out.
And it's missing?
No, it's there. It just, looks like it's been purposefully cut out.
Cut into the floor. All right. I will. Do I have anything in my backpack that I can mark that with? Just
do you have
so that when
a
these guys come up
explorer's
against me?
kit or anything like that? Dungeon Master's pack? Or
Nah, I have like
Dungeoneer's pack?
Yeah, I have like the breaking and entering one. Trying to see.
If you have thief tools, you can attempt to disarm on it with that proficiency.
I guess, yeah. That's a good point.
Okay.
I will attempt to disarm this thing, or at least get a better look at it.
Okay, so make a dexterity check, and add your proficiency bonus.
I was going to say, can I make it a sleight of hand check?
Yeah, you could do that.
All right, cool.
I just want to make sure that the tool proficiency is added in.
21.
Yeah, so you're able to kind of chip away at the ground around it enough to where you could wedge a rock down in there and keep the pressure plate from being able to depress. The spring mechanism that you see in there, you think roughly 20 pounds of pressure would be enough to set this trap off.
Okay. I guess I'd like to leave if it's possible with that roll, I'd like to leave the rock just kind of maybe the first 2 or 3 people that step on it, it won't trigger, but eventually the rock will break and it will rearm the trap.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair.
All right. So I'm going to stand on the other side of it and kind of, quietly motion for the other 2 to come up behind me, point to the ground, and, don't walk there.
Okay.
Why not? Is it something wrong?
Just let's avoid stepping on that plate if we can, everyone.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to keep moving forward. So what is this another passageway going off to the north here?
Yeah, the one due north of you slopes down and to the left rather sharply. You've got a way that is more level that's due east of you.
Well, I like Genji's idea from earlier. I say we stay on this level and try to clear it first, so I'll head this way.
Okay. So you come to a T intersection. One area to the north and an area to the south. To the south, as you look down the passageway, you were seeing this cavern has stone slabs that line the walls of the cave. Weapons, pieces of armor, and various tools cover the slabs. You can hear the sound of bubbling, boiling mud, just kind of a gurgling sound, and there's a pretty heavy steam that sits hanging in this area.
I got it. I gotta take that call real quick. Just give me 1 second.
Okay.
So can I tell if this heads back down to where we ran into Geffen earlier?
So it could, directionally as best you can intuit, that general direction would be where he would have been at. Yes.
Okay. Well, Erdos, I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I feel like that's probably the temple or something over in that area. Plus, we know there's something wrong with that mud. If you want, I can sit down for a few minutes and I can talk to the rocks and ask them which way Hanzo is. We can do that again at this T intersection.
Hey, man. Got us this far. Try it again.
All right, so I go cross-legged and I start muttering to myself and pulling some dirt out and rubbing it into my hands and Tony Montana style, the dirt up my nose, and I say,
Oh, great rocks, and dirt, and earth. Where is Hanzo?
And you feel the earth respond to your request. The heartbeat of the ground around you, you can feel almost like if you've been running really hard, for you specifically, like if you walk 10 feet and your heart's beating really fast and you can feel like the blood surging. You're feeling mud, magma, and the like coursing around you. The harmonic resonance of the crystals, you feel a very strong presence of them to your north, and then much more distant to the south, likely that kind of bewildering cave area that you guys had traveled through. As the stone reaches out to you, in your mind, you can see it feels violated and it feels bastardized, that it's almost like there's a malignant tumor to your east. It doesn't really give you any type of a riddle, or doesn't speak words to you. You just feel the ground and the nature around you cringing in a little bit of pain.
Okay, so I'm trying to think what Erdos would do here, whether he would try to do something to help the Earth or tell... all right.
Well, I'm pretty sure Hanzo's somewhere to the north, but I gotta tell you, there's something wrong with what this is going on in here, and that's to the east. So we can try to save his sister, or we can try to save the Earth. I mean, it's really your call.
My first and only priority is rescuing my sister and bringing justice to Hanzo.
I mean, I'm with you. It's kind of selfish, but cool.
We came.
I give you my word that
Hanzo.
once I have completed my mission, I will help you heal this place.
I like that.
And shake on it. And I stick my hand down the back of my pants and then put it out to grasp forearms with you.
I'm gonna be like, it is not the custom of my people to shake hands.
What about a fist bump?
Why don't you just take my word for it?
Okay.
And then he just smacks his hand in his chest and leaves a dirty handprint.
Earth is good, man. Earth is good. All right, so to the north we go. That's where Hanzo's at. I promise. I feel it.
All right. Continue creeping
Which direction?
to the north.
Okay, give me another stealth check.
$21.
Man, you are one hell of a rogue. So yeah, you don't see much as you're making that first round, kind of where Erdos's icon is at, but it sharply goes down, and as you're very quietly step after step after step, almost walking on the sides of your feet so that as they step down, any rocks or pebbles don't get drug around. You come into something that strikes you as actually very beautiful. This cavern has a vaulted ceiling supported by 6 natural stone columns. Crystal growths protruding from the ceiling cast a lurid purple glow over everything. Issuing from a tunnel that descends towards the east is the loud, constant sound of kind of like an electrical pop, and you're hearing groans and the sound of pain coming from the east. As you walk down and are looking at that, first stone column there directly in front of you, you see an archer, arrow drawn, but not an arrow knocked, not drawn, and he is looking back and forth, kind of squinting, trying to look around.
Does he have the same kind of armor as Genji?
So
same style
same
armor?
stylistically, yes. The color, obviously, a jade color here.
Yeah.
You also see to your due west one of the spearmen, spear ready, looking down at that wall due west of him.
So are they both looking that way? Or they're just kind
Yes.
of randomly... Oh, they're looking that direction. All right, well, I will turn around and, give one of these, point over there, and then I'll move, again, up to here and hide behind that column.
All right, give me another stealth check.
13.
Okay, I need to do some rolling.
While he was doing that, the same hand signal that Pacho had given to me in the ground between me and Genji, I do mend or mold earth and show the same hand signal to Genji.
Awesome.
Okay.
So, Pachua, as you are taking step, you hear from behind you, halt! You move no further or you die.
Uh-oh.
And the archer immediately starts to train over towards you. The spearman directly to your front, you can see on the other side of the column, it hasn't really registered with him yet what the hell's happening.
Can I take an action right now?
Yeah, I'll give you one action, then we'll go into initiative.
All right, so I'm going to... Can I get between this this column here and the wall?
It's a bit too tight for you to be able to really attack or do any actions. You could travel through it. The problem I have is the square immediately after would be that spearman there.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to kind of push your way through, you wouldn't be able to exit out to be free to really move very well. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I will move to this square. If that's possible.
Who was it that saw Pachua? Was it the archer?
This guy right here.
That sounds kind of meta.
Well, I would have heard him.
Yeah, you would have heard it. So you're asking if it's Hanzo?
No, I'm asking if it's a person that's not depicted on the map right now. Is what.
Yeah, he's just right out of sight. Right.
Okay.
I'm going to double attack this guy right here.
All right, this will be a sneak attack, and if you have the assassinate feature, this would also fall into that.
So I will take an auto crit then with the rapier.
Correct.
And then I'll roll the short sword regular.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a wise move, given how Ooh.
I know.
Wow.
So that's pretty good. That is 14 damage from the rapier. Short sword's a 21 to hit.
21 hits.
Another 7 damage from the short sword.
Roll your d6.
And 13 more on top of it. Man, that was a garbage roll, but I guess it's all right. 13
So
on
what's the
top of
total
that.
on that?
So the total is 14, 25, 33? 32. Sorry, 32. Yeah.
Okay. Then let's go ahead and get your critical hit on him.
Yeah.
How much damage did your rapier do total?
I did 14. Yeah,
Okay.
14 damage.
All right.
Got it.
So using
30.
the Nord Games critical hit deck, Slice Tendon. The target's speed is reduced to 0.
Ouch.
So is incapable of moving. So out of the shadows before the spearman is able to get his, he was so intent that the threat was going to come based upon the voices that they heard from that opening directly to his front. Doesn't notice Pachua sprinting about, and he very quickly and deftly places a foot and then comes up jumping, the rapier jabbing down through the soft spot in the clavicle, down into his internal organs, finding that gap in the armor that the veteran is wearing, and then Grandma's letter opener comes up underneath the splint mail and on his hamstring, severing that, and almost looking like a baseball just appeared at the base of at the top of his knee in the back. He writhes in pain and screams out as he is bleeding profusely. Everybody roll initiative.
Nice. $19.
10.
22.
Alrighty.
Can we ban 4-4 from chat?
I'd love to. Get him out of here.
Get him out of here! Snap his neck.
All right. Pachua, just after you made your attack, everybody kind of aghast at the instantaneous way that you were able to pop around the corner and paint the area in a nice bloody mess.
Savagery.
What?
I'm gonna attack this guy again.
Okay.
So rapier first, 23 to hit.
There we go.
And then the short sword, 27 to hit.
Grandma's letter opener.
7
Never
damage, and
disappoints.
this guy hasn't gone in combat yet, correct?
Yeah. No, not yet.
So another 15 on top of that.
So
So that's 16 and 15, so
31.
31?
Yep.
Yeah.
No. Yeah,
Yeah, it's 31.
31.
On top of the 32 you already did, so
Yeah.
just 63 points of damage to that guy before he even got to
Thoroughly
go. He's like, "Oh, do I even get to play this game or what? This is BS."
The Salt King would not have taken that lightly.
No, he would not have. He'd be gone.
All right. So Pachua, any bonus actions you'd like to take?
I guess I would like to move over here so that I'm on the other side of the pillar from that archer. Kind of
Okay.
trying to get full cover from him.
All right.
And that's it.
Nice. So the archer is next up. He takes a step this way, turns, and will make an attack. So the first arrow comes out and misses. The second misses as well.
Nice.
So shooken up by the instant murdering of his friend. He is unable to knock, draw, and fire with any accuracy. Genji, you are up.
All right. I will draw the ninjato, and I will move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to there.
Okay.
And then I will rage, and then I will attack twice.
Go for it.
First attack is a 9. Second, 22. There we go.
So the first swing, it's not balanced the same way your ancestral blade was. So even with his back presented to you, you come up just a little bit short than what you normally would, wanting to have the right amount of cutting surface strike him. But the second one, as you bring back on your follow through, thoroughly hits. Go ahead and roll on that, please.
Yeah. Well, the weapon is about 2 feet shorter than what I'm used to. 7 damage.
7 damage. Okay.
I've been saying that for years.
All right. You hear a guttural "Ooh!" and running up behind you from that hallway.
Hey, guy.
The spearman comes out, spear drawn, and will make his first attack, a 23, which hits.
Is this a thrust attack he's doing with the spear?
Oh, he's thrusting in you.
Okay. That's a natty 1, baby.
Take 2. 2 points of damage from the first thrust. The second attack. Natty 1.
Also a natty 1. Yeah.
So we will go to the critical fail deck for attacks.
This is the Makiri counter move from Sekiro, if anybody has played that game.
Yeah, you've been playing that a lot lately.
It's actually quite
during work
rewarding.
hours, but I'm not.
I have no idea what
go
you're talking
further
about.
into that.
Not true at all.
Weird.
Oh, man.
All right. So. All right. So this is an awkward grade. His shoes are untied. Every time you move until the end of combat, there's a 50% chance you will lose your shoe. So we're going to roll a d6. And on evens, his shoe's coming off. But he was able to maintain his shoe. But he does trip over the wraps that go around, which act pretty much as his laces. And the second attack, as he's going, what looks like is going to be a perfect thrust, he ends up lurching forward and, stabs down into the ground. Erdos, you are up, sir. What would you like to do?
So Erdos is going to step into the room right here. Looks over, sees the bloody, pulpy mess, or what's the remnants of that to the left. Good job, boss! And he's going to hold his hand up and put a little bit of biomaterial in his hand and spark it, and it's going to produce a flame. And then he's going to wind up and throw it at the one at the back of Genji, right here, the one in the green base. So it's +7 to attack. Roll.
So is Beavis the doo-doo ape up to his old tricks again?
Beavis the doo-doo ape. 18 to hit.
Yeah, 18 hits.
And then it's going to do 2d8 of damage. And he does 5 points of damage.
Okay.
That's his action, and then for his bonus action, he's not gonna do anything, and that's the end of his turn.
Okay. Top of round 2, Pachwa. You see somebody on fire behind Genji. A archer standing there, reaching for his hip-located quiver to pull another arrow out at you. What would you like to do?
I'll engage with this archer and attack him twice.
Did he go to Jared? 14,
14 to hit.
misses.
And then short
Grandma's
bow.
letter opener.
Grandma's letter opener for
Every
22.
time.
Money as always.
8 damage. And he's within 5 feet of my ally,
That
so
is accurate.
11 more on top of that.
19.
19 damage. All right, that's 22 to hit.
Outstanding. So, again, Grandma's letter opener going to town on the Jade Syndicate, and he is the archer is bleeding rather profusely as you color even more of this sacred temple in the crimson of Kazakuran blood. Let's go to the archer. Just got hit. He's actually going to drop his bow to the ground and pull out his sidearm blade. And he's going to make 2 attacks on Pachwa.
Each of which are disadvantaged.
Very true. So I need to roll 2 d20. First one misses. And 15 is your AC, correct?
Correct.
So that connects.
Yeah, to your question, Kurokazin, we had tried flanking, but by giving flanking to both the NPCs and us, we found it to be more catastrophic to us, and so it was decided not to use us.
All right, 7 points of slashing damage as he gets somewhat of a meager attack in Uncanny Dodge.
I will Uncanny Dodge.
All right, so make that 3. So he just barely is able to glance. Nothing that draws blood. Your splint mail armor that you have, as the blade comes in contact with it, you think you're going to get somewhat of a tissue bruise, but it's by no means anything life-threatening. Genji, may your assault continue.
All right. So now that I feel like I'm more adjusted to the weight, heft, and dimensions of this blade, I'm going to attack the same archer 2 more times.
Okay.
First attack is a 10. Second is a
Misses.
21.
21 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
You are correct in that statement, Kurokazin. Our DM is a sadistic sumbitch.
Oh, thank you.
15 damage.
15 damage is enough to kill the archer, and your momentum from that swipe as you come through beheading him, you pivot your thrust or your swing as you bring it around to the veteran behind you.
Yes.
Please roll your attack.
17.
17 hits.
10 damage.
All right. Any bonus actions this round, sir?
That was my bonus action.
Oh, yeah, that is
that
true.
attack
That
on
is
death
true.
is a bonus action. Yep.
All right, so he recoils back, thinking that he had, your hindquarters there for his poking pleasure. You swing about with your dirty ninja blade and are able to catch him quite prominently in his right tricep. His focus no longer on his shoe, which could be coming off at any moment. He makes his attack, the first one.
What happens if he loses his shoe?
It comes off. 16.
Hits. 16 hits.
Okay. and you will take 4 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Attack 2. A 21 hits.
Wow.
And you will take another 3 points of piercing damage as the trauma to his right arm doesn't seem enough to really alter his aim, and he gets 2 decent pokes in on you.
Spearman, you have shown more fight in 12 seconds than I have seen out of an entire lifetime of fighting with the J. Quran.
Erdos, slights come across your ears, breaking its way through the collection of mud and poop in your ear canal. What would you like to do? You move up behind that pillar. You can hear the screams issuing forth from the cavern to the east. You smell ozone in the air, and the hair on your arms attempts to rise, but you're so covered in grime, they're matted down to your arms. What would you like to do?
Yep. So I'm going to I'm going to use Thorn Whip, and I want to pull this guy into this stalagmite in front of me and try to smash him into it.
Okay, so that's a pillar.
Pillar.
Go ahead and make your attack.
Yep.
Somebody spent a lot of time carving that and getting it in place. I don't want you to belittle their work. 17 hits.
And then I do 7 points of damage, and he's pulled to
10
me.
feet back.
Yep.
All right. So he, Genji, as you're making eye contact with him, trying to read where his next attack would come from and probing for a hole in his defense, you see a very thorny, sappy looking limb come shooting out and wrap around his neck. As it connects, you see a slight pull, like somebody setting a fish hook, and you see it bite into his throat as blood starts to trickle, and then his eyes go wide as all of a sudden he lurches back into the pillar. Roll a d6 damage, please. All right.
5 damage. Wow.
So he is yanked back in and bangs the ever-loving crap out of the back of his head up against the pillar, and is somewhat dazed, and we're seeing a decent amount of blood.
Is he
I love
both dazed and confused?
No, nobody is ever both dazed and confused.
Okay.
That went out a few decades ago.
Okay.
I'm done with my turn.
What?
I think he's
Giggles
done with his
McGee?
turd.
You done with your turn?
With his turd, boss.
All right. Top of round 2, Pachwa, making quick work of this group of guards within the area, defiling this sacred holy site with Kazakuran blood. What would you like to do?
I want to continue stabbing these guys.
Pretty simple.
Yeah. Rapier attack first. 24 to hit.
24 hits.
7 damage.
Yeah.
Short sword attack. 27.
Oh, Grandma's letter opener.
Every
10
time.
damage. 17
Wow.
damage. And will you count this pillar as breaking up the
No,
engagement?
They're very much together. They're engaged.
So another 12. So 39 damage? No, 29 damage.
Yeah. So he dead.
Wow.
And you guys are out of initiative. Really no worse for the wear. Gore littering the floor, as you can hear screams and large amounts of a kind of popping, crackling sound coming from the cave mouth ahead.
Okay. Well, we should probably go check that out.
As he says that, you can look over and you can see that the guy that his shoe is loose. He's pulled off his wrappings, and I'm cutting off his big toe.
Yeah, I agree.
Who's the murder hobo now?
Hey,
No, Colus Maximus, that's one of his main teachings, is you always have to carry your experiences with you and thus abuse the corpses.
Yeah, so get his toe and put it in my other pocket, the non-nose pocket. And
yep, I'm ready. I'm ready to go now.
I'm gonna ask Erdos real quick. Erdos, do you happen to have any favors with your gods sufficient to ameliorate? And he wouldn't know that word. It's sufficient to help out with my minor injury.
Oh,
can I get a cure light?
Of course, you know I do that.
And I walk up and I've still got some toe blood on my hand, and I do the football slap on your right cheek.
Here you go.
And cast Cure Light Wounds, or Cure Wounds level 1. 1d8 plus 4. 5.
Okay. I was only down 9, so that's not bad.
I think I just did I fix that now? Let's see. This doesn't count. I just wanted to see. Oh, cool. I did get it. All right, cool.
Oh, there we go.
That's cute.
Awesome.
Yeah. So in your settings, there's enable 3D dice and then automatically roll 3D dice.
Cool. Now, how do you make it go away when the roll is done?
I don't know that part.
We're gonna have like 60 dice here in about 5 minutes, just covering up the entire.
Anybody in chat know?
I think they disappear after a second.
Okay.
Roll another one and see if it makes the old one disappear.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It persists the last dice. So.
Okay.
I cannot take that. All right.
So let's move to the east.
Oh yeah,
All right.
clicking on them does get rid of them. Yep.
Oh,
Cool.
There you go. Thank you, chat. All right. Yeah, so this is our second session that we have done in this, this format of us doing distance. Normally, we all play together in place, and then we'll project this onto our TV screen table if we need something that's done through it. So I appreciate the help out there. All right, so Pachua begins moving forward. I need a stealth check roll.
$17.
And so as you guys are engaged with each other, Erdos and Genji, getting bloody toe juice slapped on your cheek, you don't really notice that Pachua has kind of disappeared into the shadows and begins creeping his way down this hallway. Pachua, as you are moving, very slowly, this again slopes downward and opens up into a colossal cavern. It's an alien landscape. Don't move any more forward than that. An alien landscape filled with soaring stone buttresses, weirdly twisting columns, and gargantuan shards of glowing crystal. A long path of steps is cut into an uneven floor that is shrouded in smoke and steam. It winds its way between the mighty stone pillars to the cavern's core. There, the steps climb to the base of a stone monolith that is constantly changing its shape, filling the great cavern with a thunderous grinding noise. On the exterior of this stone monolith crackles a ring of lightning, and through it you see a bony face that is conversing with an individual that is standing before the altar. And I will go ahead and get that part illuminated real quick for you guys.
Yeah, I think you did say boner face.
Boner face. So if you kind of scroll to the right, you see littered on the ground corpses of this earth cult, and the individuals, their bodies still smoking, parts, limbs removed and discarded in the pile. And as you look through, you see, let me pull it up. Here we go. Let's see.
Fuck. That's the guy at the altar?
You see him speaking through what looks like a portal wreathed in lightning, and you hear him yelling at the cultist that is laying on this altar in front of the monolith. In front of him, in between you and the altar, you can see an individual in purple and jade armor that is almost identical to Genji's, resplendent with much more jewels, and he is engaging in the conversation and lightly filleting off the skin from the chest of this cultist as they question him. It's hard to discern just over the ambience and that noise there what we are exactly witnessing and hearing. And then you can close that picture whenever you guys are ready, or drag it over to the black.
Skeletor with a magic wand. Or staff, or whatever that is.
Jesus Christ. So is this
Is
room...
he conversing with Lopan? Anyway.
David Lopan?
Yeah, I don't say that, but yeah.
is this room well lit?
Yes. It's well lit, but you can't really see the ground outside of this stepped path that goes through the center of the room.
I can't see the ground.
Yeah, so like so you see where I'm kind of pinging in that black area? Like there's a heavy fog or steam or smoke that really obscures the ground and the side walls in that area, so it's difficult for you to really see beyond that, but what you can see in that cone going ahead of you.
About how deep is the mist?
You don't know because you can't really see the walls.
So, is it like level with the stone path, or is that like raised above, or is
the stone path is a little bit more elevated? You can see the ground kind of sloping off, and again, it's you guess anywhere from 60 to maybe 80 feet to the roof of this cavern, or what you presume to be the roof, based upon the dimly illuminated crystals that kind of crackle as the lightning from the portal on the other side of this obelisk is crackling, almost as if the crystals themselves are being sapped to power this.
I don't think I can see any of this yet because I haven't stepped around the corner.
Correct.
I'm going to step back.
Make another stealth check.
All right. Nat 20.
Oh, very nice. So you're able to move back and then show everybody where to step if you guys want to come back together after a brief conversation. Because a fucking 30 is pretty damn decent.
Okay, so I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to try to relay what I saw as best I can, because I'm sure I probably don't have the words to explain exactly what's going on in there.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing is for sure, there's a guy in there with purple armor that looks just like yours. I'm assuming that's this Hanzo guy. So,
Is his armor purple or is it green and purple?
I saw the purple. It's a little hard to see that far over there. There's all kinds of fog on the ground, but they're definitely doing some bad shit, and they got some evil looking dude on the hollow phone.
Do I recognize the description of that guy with the skeleton face just from cause of current history or anything like that?
Roll a history check.
Okay.
While he's adjudicating that, I'd like to roll an insight to see if Erdos is smart enough to think that Genji would run in there, and if he does, he'd like to step in front of the tunnel, just kind of blocking it.
Okay, roll an insight check. That's some higher level play right there.
Yeah. I at least just from Genji's perspective, based upon the description he just heard from Pachwa, that's not enough to conclude whether or not that's Genji or Hanzo in there.
Okay.
Okay, so that's you can tell that he's suspicious. He's milking the grip on his
Throbbing
blade.
broadsword.
Yes. Anticipating the conflict ahead, but still very curious. So what would you guys like to do?
I don't know what's in that mist, but I think we might be able to use it as a means to sneak up on these guys and at least try to get the jump on them, even the odds a little bit.
I will warn you, if this is indeed Hanzo, I will not sneak up on him. I will be challenging him to one-on-one combat, and you must not interfere.
Oh, well, I meant sneak up on the other guys.
You
Well, I
are
want-
free to do as you see fit.
I wouldn't want them to interfere either.
Well, also, I've got this really cool spell I can do. I can make the earth explode into a wall of fire, and that's like the most powerful thing I can do. So I could do that too.
Okay.
Erdos, is there any way that you can get a message to Genji silently if you and I are to sneak up behind these guys to give him a signal?
So if I can see the dirt within 30 feet, I can make, do the hand signals in the dirt and stuff.
All right, well, let's try to sneak up to a point behind these cultists on the ground if we can, and then throw the signal. And then, Genji, you can come busting in.
Understood.
That sounds good, boss.
Okay, so if you guys want to align yourselves at the mouth, yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
And so you see the mists are quite thick. I need all three of you to roll a stealth check.
Oh, boy.
I'm gonna use my advantage one.
Okay.
22.
Oh,
Okay.
man. I wouldn't be Genji if I wasn't stomping around everywhere.
13. You guys should turn those 3D dice. They're pretty cool. Did we freeze up? Lee
No,
freeze
I'm here.
I think
We're here.
Yeah.
I think Lee may have frozen up.
He's not just staring at the screen
He might
right now,
be
like,
just-
and not moving. He's not just unmoving, like, I can't believe what I'm about to do to you guys.
What the hell happened?
I don't know. I don't know.
That was pretty great though, man. No, it's the freeze. The way it keeps freezing on him is pretty awesome.
Oh, man, if you only knew what I knew. Billy, you gotta breathe, man.
I'm sorry, it's great because it's perfect. Like, it's not like one of those, like, your eyes are closed, like, freeze ups. Like, it's the perfect, like, stick.
Yeah. It's like it's like a headshot. It's like an intentional photograph, you know.
If I wish I had the ability to update his LinkedIn profile pic, because
You'd use that.
that would be what would go in there. Oh my god, we could do the face mask thing and have one of our mouth through Lee's cut out.
Oh yeah, yeah, dude. That's Halloween costume material this year.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I lost him. Hopefully he'll come back.
As your new DM.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a pretty good T-shirt, actually.
Just his face.
Yeah.
Make the T-shirt out of his face.
Is it projecting the dungeon scene onto my T-shirt?
No.
It sure is. It sure is.
No, it's not. What are you talking about? Oh yeah.
It is a
Oh, I
little
thought he
bit.
was just wearing like a. I thought he was wearing like a sweater vest tuxedo T-shirt or something like
No,
that.
it's because it's green. I think I can do this too. While we're waiting on Lee to get back, I think if I do, let's see if I do that.
In the meantime, I'm going to eat my cheesy gordita crunch from Taco Bell.
So now you got Erdos's face on your shirt.
It's like a crappy Santa Claus.
Oh my god.
Oh, I know what I can do. Alright, we're just waiting on our DM to get back. Sorry for the delay, guys. It'll be just a second. He clearly had some internet issue. Yeah, I think I can do. Let's see.
Can somebody just translate your name? I gotta check this out. Are you serious? You knew that, didn't you?
Of course. It makes sense. It makes that screen grab even better.
Alright, let's do this.
Sorry about that. We had a power flicker and dropped.
Must be that obelisk.
That's right.
By the way, somebody that
Would
speaks
not be
Polish has
told.
translated Pachua's name for us.
Oh, yeah.
Pachwa Kochanik, man.
Yeah. There's a link to the translation in Twitch chat.
Oh, I'm not on Twitch.
What?
I'm running a game.
Oh.
Not well, but running it nonetheless.
Nah, you're doing fine.
Yeah, it's going real good actually. Alright, I think we're almost ready. There we go.
All right, so I've got the fire behind my back, I'm assuming.
You
Yep.
do.
Nice. Okay. So back into it we go. So as you guys start walking in, Pachua again starts creeping off over towards the mist. As you get to about right here, you start to place a very careful heel-toe footfall, and it's like the ground isn't there, and so you stop yourself from going much further. Erdos is starting to come in behind you, and is making more noise than you really feel comfortable with. But then the voluminous echoing clang, clang, clang as the Iron Giant comes walking in. You see Hanzo stop filleting the guy that's laying there on the altar. I need you guys to roll a real quick perception check, please.
10 for
No.
Erdos.
Sorry.
12 for Hanzo or Genji. God, why do I call myself Hanzo? It's terrible.
Because you've become that what you hate.
Hmm.
Can I get a D20 instead of a D10? Thank you.
Yeah. That's a 11.
Oh, worse. Oh, wow. Yeah. So it's hard to really see what's happening for Erdos and Pachua as you guys have started to enter into the mist. But you do notice, Genji, that the individual laying on the altar is Giffen. And he's being cut apart, ripped open. As you come walking in, the scene stops, and the skeletal figure looks up and notices you guys, and with a measured look, he says, "Hanzo, if you are able to take them, do it very slowly. I wish to feast on their pain and on their anguish. Interlopers, your progress through my continent has not gone unnoticed. This is not your grave, but you are welcome to it. Do not be afraid, for I will be your peace. I will be your salvation. I am a timeless chorus. Join your voice with mine and sing victory everlasting. Let me feast upon your soul. Let my soulmonger consume you, and you shall have a place, giving me my ascendancy to godhood. Hanzo, take care of them." And through the screen, we'll call it, wreathed in lightning, you can hear a voice yell, "Oh no!" And quickly coming into view, Uginho looks out and says, "Genji, run! It is a trap!" And you see him yank a chain, and she's pulled back down to the ground, still extremely pregnant, as you've seen her before. And you see Hanzo stop and looks up at the skeletal figure and says, "You are not to harm her. You will treat her with respect." And the skeletal figure looks down at Hanzo and says, "Honor our agreement, Hanzo." And he turns to face you. The portal that's around there collapses down, and then the brightest light you collectively have ever seen, brighter than just staring directly into the sun, ends up filling you guys' vision. And you yourselves, if you can recenter.
Oh man, it's like that lava bridge from that Marine Corps commercial from the 1980s.
Yeah, the giant lava monster.
Yeah,
swings and kills.
Yeah.
You guys are further to the left. And the ground begins quaking, and Pachua, you would be here. Erdos is right here, and the step you were about to take would have plunged you down into this. But you see that as you were walking through the entrance to the cavern, it seems to have taken you to some type of the plane of elemental earth. And within here, they are doing something deep in the interior of Cholt. You guys need to roll initiative, please.
It's a 12 for Erdos.
16 for Genji.
26 for
Jeez.
Joshua.
Yowzer.
All right. Just getting my initiative table set up. 1 second, I apologize. All right, Pachua. Realizing where you were as the mists clear, you see your footfall nearly plunging you into a river of molten lava. You can see off in the distance, these different elements up in the ceiling that look like the bottom of whirlpools of mud. The mud dripping and falling from the sky down into this river of molten lava. You are standing at the precipice. You hear Hanzo call out to Genji. What are your actions?
I guess I will. I think I can make it basically all the way to like here.
Yeah.
If I use bonus action to dash, so
Yeah.
I'll move to.
So if you look at the
Does
squares,
this give me cover?
Yeah, it would. If you look at the squares on the bridge, they're broken up roughly into fourths.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind as you guys are counting squares going forward. So you can see these, large, for lack of a better term, barricades that are set up. You're not sure what this is necessarily defending. But Pachua sprints up. You find your breath stolen as you're running over this sulfurous, pungent odor coming from the magma below you, but you're able to steady yourself, sprinting across the bridge for every one of your footfalls. Luckily, feels very heartily intact, and you're able to, with your faith and athleticism, sprint across and take up position there.
I also have my two swords directly down 45-degree angles behind me, so I'm sprinting across.
Oh,
Naruto.
So it is. Billy, are you keeping track of initiative on the screen at all?
No, I had not been.
Oh, don't worry about it then. So then Hanzo, seeing that, walks forward to here, and he has not drawn his blade, and looks over and speaks directly first to Pachua and says, Dark One, you would be wise not to get between me and your friend Genji. He is here to meet his doom. And then he yells out across the chasm, Genji, your family has dishonored Kazakura. You have let us become the dogs of the rival clans. You must present yourself for judgment under my blade. And you see him reach for the pommel or the handle of his blade, and he says, I wonder, Genji, what will break first, your spirit or your body? And then he draws and points towards you.
Oh, snap. Do we have some pan flute we could be playing in the background right now, like Karate Kid style? Anyway, okay. All right, let's do this. Whose turn is it?
Next up is Genji.
Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is say a quick prayer to my ancestors. Ancestors, this is not the blade of my home and of your legacy, but please bless this as the implement of your righteous justice. And then as I step forward, I'm
Roll
going to...
a religion check.
Okay. I wonder what I got for that. Look at +1. All right. I didn't pay attention in Sunday school, apparently.
So, your ancestors, it's hard to reach them from this plane of existence, wherever you were at. Roll a d4 and cut it in half.
Two.
So, the crimson jewel, the ruby jewel in your headpiece, flares to life, similar to like what the Eye of Thundera would do. And you guys see Genji become clothed in this kind of crimson glow that just kind of emanates as an aura around him. Genji, you have 2 advantage rolls that you can leverage in this duel.
Okay.
However, your blade is not coated in this, blessed glow as it had been in your last duel with Hanzo Toyotomi.
Okay.
You now have a crimson glow.
Yeah. Cool. Pretty sure there's like a song about that.
Yeah.
Like 1992 or something.
No,
So,
in stream I give you a crimson glow.
Oh, nice. Wasn't even looking at that. That's hilarious. Okay, so that's the first thing I'm going to do is that quick prayer. And then I'm going to step forward 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 squares to here. And then I will issue my challenge to Hanzo. And what I'll say to him is, Hanzo, come and witness honor your ancestors have never known. Which, if you recall from the kind of little info that I sent to you maybe like 3 months ago, so you don't remember, I'm sure. But that is how a samurai challenges a criminal to single combat.
Okay.
So it's a very insulting thing for somebody that doesn't consider themselves a criminal, obviously. And then I will just draw my weapon on the way out there and stand in roughly the position that mini is in, ready to go.
Okay. And a high guard. So this archer up here. Is within 120 of Erdos. He knocks 2 arrows, and for the first attacking action of this combat, fires 2 arrows in your direction.
Don't add the modifiers, just do the roll. Okay, those are fine.
Okay. So he's a +5, so that is 12, 17.
2 hits.
And, okay, so 2 hits. So you take 13 points of piercing damage as 2 arrows sail over, and at first, like, you can see him taking the action of drawing and loosing. You don't really see because of the waving distortion that the heat from the magma below causes, and before you know it, 2 arrows come plunging in into your left and right quad. blood issues forth. Erdos, what are your actions?
It's like that scene from Ace Ventura: Pet
I was
Detective
just
2.
gonna say.
Yeah.
the bone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm going to move forward 30. Use all my movement to move forward 30 feet. And then I'm going to, as I'm moving, ow, that smarts! Ow! 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 Being quite overly dramatic about it. And then I'm going to take my one toe out of one pocket and a nose out of the other pocket and smash them together and rub my hands. And as I'm rubbing my hands, smoke starts to emanate forth from my hands. And I'm going to cast Wall of Fire! And I want to do it right here.
No.
Okay.
No.
So it'll hit him for 5d8, and then anything that goes 10 feet beyond him that moves into it will also be hit by it.
All right.
And he has make your it's a dex saving throw, and before you add your modifier, you can just make your base
So
roll.
you're going like this?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it'll
sexy.
It's 60 feet long, so it'll be 5, 10, 15. So I want to block the archer's line of sight too. So
Okay.
yeah, if you can move that up. How did you do that? I want that thing.
Magic. So you went across this then?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and then extend another 15. So I actually want it like this, Lee. Sorry. Draw shape. Like that. Or sorry.
Oh, okay. So doing a wall like that. Let me
5,
do that
10,
in.
15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50,
Can you
55,
draw that
60.
in red?
Yep, I sure can. Draw shape, draw in red, and then it'll go up 3 squares, and down 3 squares, like that.
Perfect. All right, so it is a dexterity saving throw.
Yep.
Let me pull up his stat block. And what's your DC on
DC
this?
15.
Yeah, so the base, he's able to pass it.
Can I mess with his saving throw, or is it just attacks on me with my lucky? I think it's just attacks
I
on
think
me.
luck is just your stuff, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't looked
Yeah,
at
it's
this
just
in
mine.
a while.
Or it's an attack against me or my stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
So he makes it. So he takes half damage of 5d8. So roll 5d8. He takes 8 points of damage. Man, that's a horrible fucking roll.
And as it starts to erupt around him and flames wreathe out to either side of this bridge, you hear Hanzo begin to chuckle and laugh. And he says, "So tell me, Genji, who is the true criminal? One who is honorably not engaging your party in order for us to have honorable combat, or the one who has his friends do his fighting for him? I see that you've even picked up one of our blades. This will not serve you well. You have forsaken your home, you have forsaken your family, and you have forsaken your ancestors, not even bringing their blade to this fight."
After he says that, I'm going to look over my shoulder at Erdos, and I'll say to Erdos, "Hey, Erdos, can you change into an ape and throw crap in his mouth, please?"
I would say that's what beavis shit monkeys do best.
Okay.
All right.
But from now on, please do not interfere until after the battle. Thank you very much.
Erdos's turn. Anything else?
Yeah, that's it for him. Yep.
Okay. The archer there at the other parapet is looking out over and is having difficulty seeing you, Erdos. So we're going to go ahead and add 5 to your AC for him to try to be able to fire through this. And if you wouldn't mind, because this is a concentration spell up to a minute for Wall of Fire, right?
Yep. Yes.
So let's roll a d6, and that's how many rounds it's going to take before they can really start being able to see. So 2 rounds will drop your AC by 2 for ranged, and then another 2 rounds by another 2 until we get to your original, if that sounds fair. So he will make his first 2 attacks.
Let's go ahead and use a lucky point on that nat 20.
Yeah.
All right.
And so as an arrow starts to come close to Erdos' chest, he says, "Fuck your couch!" And
so do I have to re-roll that?
Yes.
let's see. You roll. I get to roll. I roll the dice, and then I pick which one I
okay.
want. 1d20.
Roll 20.
I know, right? Motherfucker!
Are you kidding me? What? You wasted your 20 on yourself. Oh man! Can you burn another lucky point, or is that it? Is that it?
No, that's it.
Oh
yeah.
man!
So we'll take my 20. We'll take my 20 though, not your 20.
Okay. So I'm gonna go through the Nord games on the critical hit.
Son of a bitch.
That's beautiful. Some things are just meant to happen, guys.
Yeah.
I cannot effing believe that just happened.
Should call them unlucky points. They've only done something good for you like 1 out of 4 times that you use them.
All right. Make a dexterity saving throw.
That's not good. I think we're gonna use.
Probably want to use your inspiration if you have one.
No, I don't. But I could use another lucky point. I'm gonna use another lucky point because I probably need to make this. Yeah.
Yeah. Probably want to fail a
All right.
Nord Games card. I'll tell you that right now.
19.
That's better.
19. Okay. So the arrow is let loose, and as it is flying through the air, you say, "Oh man, I've got this. I'll be able to dodge out of the way." And you start to move to the side, but then you kind of bump up against the railing there, and put your arms out to be able to stagger and hold yourself. Luckily, you push forward again in order to get out of the way, because otherwise it would have rent your armor. And the way that it's connected there, you would have lost a chest strap, losing part of the effectiveness of the armor that you were wearing. So you have no setback from this critical hit. Let's roll damage.
Jesus, man.
13 points of piercing damage, as one of the shots rings true, and actually as it's traveling through this wall of flame, the fletching on the arrow ends up catching fire, and so you see this flaming comet come across and hit, and he's so overconfident that he whiffs the next shot, and it ends up going wide. Top of round 2, Pachua, what would you like to do? There's a huge wall of fire right in front of you. And which side is the safe side versus the...
The safe side is the side facing us.
Okay.
So does it look like I could jump through it?
Yeah.
I passed my con save, by the way.
Okay.
All right. But I have to pass through him, huh? If I move past.
Wait a second. Your con save is an 11, and it was the damage.
DC 10 or half the damage.
Oh, half the damage. That's right. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, Pachua.
No. So if I pass through, I guess as a bonus action, I will disengage.
Okay.
and then move through him, jump through the wall out to here, and I will stab this guy 2 times.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attacks. Erdos, roll damage for the fire.
$16 to hit with the rapier.
Yeah, so it's at advantage because he's laying there prone on the ground. So
was that Geffen?
Oh, that guy's laying on the ground?
That's Geffen? Oh, poor Geffen.
Oh.
He's putting him out of his misery. It's actually a nice thing to do.
Poor guy. He creeped me out anyway.
All right, so that the 16 is a hit. So let's adjudicate this first. We'll save the 24 for later. So the roll another d20 to see if you get a crit on him.
No.
Okay, so the first one hits, and roll damage on it.
8 damage.
Okay, and then roll for Grandma's letter opener.
Come on, nat 20.
Yeah! There it is.
So those
Grandma's letter opener never disappoints.
The developer roll 20 must be watching and are influencing both as go.
Of course,
finger on the
of course, he
here.
critted a non-combatant, but that's okay.
No, this is awesome. Let's see what happens.
I mean, it's called Grandma's letter opener. It's made to open up Grandma, right? So.
Oh God,
jeez.
So fuzzy naval wine coolers did that. All right.
So
I see what you did there.
15 damage on him.
Okay. And that's adding, so with the crit, and you get to make another attack with advantage against the same target as a follow-up.
Jesus.
The damage that you roll has already killed him, so just stabs a lot, is standing over this skinned guy laying on the ground and just stabs the ever-loving shit out of him.
Poor Geffen.
And I'm gonna scream out, "No, I don't want any of your fucking mud," and just keep stabbing.
Oh man. All right, Hanzo. Bring it.
So basically, he's just this giant pool of blood now.
So now back to the firewall.
Yeah, so you take a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So you take, we'll do actually quarter damage.
Right.
So instead of taking 24, you take 6 points of fire damage as you went flipping ever so acrobatically through, and just keep burning those natty 20s. All right, so Hanzo shoots fire out of his ass.
I see he had some Taco Bell as well.
Yeah, is anything not a natural 20?
Yeah. He moves forward, and you can see that there is something on his mind. And he pauses for a second and says, "I will take no pleasure in putting you down, brother. But I will tell you this. When you ran away, when our families needed you most, the despair that was left behind, we were always looking for salvation, and you ran away. What have you to say to this?"
Oh, was he waiting for a response from me?
Yeah.
Hanzo, I will let my braid do all the talking for me. Prepare yourself, for the hour of justice has come.
We stop looking for monsters under our beds when we realize they are inside of us. Feel my fury. And he readies his blade.
Okay.
Which you notice to have the crimson scabbard to it, if you recall from your first duel.
Yeah.
And he is holding that aloft, waiting for you. Genji, your turn.
Okay. So as an incidental, I'm going to pop the last remaining antitoxin that I have on me.
Oh, nice.
I'll take that off of my equipment chart. And so now I'm advantaged on Constitution saving throws versus poison. And then I will rage.
So pissed.
Yeah, especially now. And now that I don't have a weapon and everything, this is about as underdog as you can get, guy. Okay, and then
Weird how that happens, isn't it?
I know. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, and then I will step forward, slowly walking towards Hanzo as I draw the weapon, and I will say to him, "Come, test your blade against mine," and then I will attack him twice.
Okay.
Is that what I wanted to do? Nope, that's what I wanted to do. What? Just so that's a 17 for the first one,
17 hits.
and then the second one. It's a 20.
Nice. So 2 strong hits against him. Go ahead and roll damage on those.
Okay, so the
Don't forget your
First-
where's your advantage because your Crimson Glow.
no, that gives me advantage rolls, but I bet you I can't use them on the attack because my sword isn't glowing as well. That's what I suspect as Genji. I don't know if that's the actual case or not. Okay, so that is 9 damage on the first one,
Okay.
and 12 damage on the second one.
Nice.
Ancestors, protect and guide me.
So as his reaction, he is going to do an Astra, since you are in his lair,
Mm-hmm.
and his Astra gives him a flurry of attacks.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
And one of them is a natural 1.
Oh, wow, 5 attacks? Ugh.
All right, so let's roll, and the natty 1 is the last one, so we'll do the Nord Games. You muffed your attack cards, and see what happens. All right. Awkward. He swung wide on his last attack, and that gives you an opportunity attack against him as a reaction. So this should be your AC 17, correct?
16.
16. So then that would be 3 hits.
Okay.
Let's. Oh, it's on the phone. All right. So that will be 28 points of slashing damage,
Ouch.
and cut in half down to 14.
Yeah.
And then go ahead and make your opportunity attack.
Ugh.
And it misses.
Close.
The blade, as it starts to cut into you, you see that he is not using the jade one. He is using the crimson one against you, and has done the service of not tainting it with any type of toxins.
Interesting. We'll see how long that lasts.
We go to the archer up on top. Now that that's the end of Genji's long-ass turn. So with a upgraded AC that Erdos has, and the archers already hit him, he perceives Pachua to be the more difficult target, and so he knocks 2 arrows and fires them. Not simultaneously. This
Thanks,
isn't
Spriggan.
Robin Hood.
Appreciate the follow, Spriggan. Welcome to the channel.
Yeah, welcome.
I might have to change that sound effect because it scared me twice now. I've literally jumped both times that's gone off.
So 1 arrow connects 15. Is the AC correct, Pachua?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you get 1 hit. For 4 points of piercing damage. As one of the arrows finds you, the other one starts to reinforce the ultimate legacy of Geffen Cauldry as just being a big pincushion. Erdos, go ahead with your turn. If you're just joining us, this is an extremely important combat that's taking place. Genji is playing... Go ahead.
No, I just was going to say I want to uncanny dodge on that.
Oh, okay. So that'll take it down to 2. Genji is playing a barbarian that we've kind of brewed into a samurai. So you've seen some of the rage builds that are out there on different homebrew sites. We pulled that in and then gone back to the original Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, the Guide to Kara Tour, and so he is leveraging an honor system, and so that's why you're seeing Genji and Hanzo kind of squaring off against each other, and none of the others, with the exception of Erdos's errant firewall, are engaging within the 2 of them. So we've got kind of the duel of fates, a la episode 3. Insert meme jokes here, going on between them. Somebody's going to end up on the high ground, we can hope. So back to it, Erdos, what would you like to do here?
Yep. So I'm assuming it was this guy that cast the or shot him with an arrow, right?
The top one, yeah.
Yep. So at the center of his thing, creating it around in a 20-foot cube, or 20-foot square. Sorry. I'm gonna take a piece of obsidian out of my pocket and take one of the noses out of my other pocket, leaving 2 more noses, and I'm gonna smash the nose on top of the obsidian, and the nose slices down on the obsidian, and the earth erupts underneath this guy, and he needs to make a Dex saving throw. DC 15.
Makes it.
Okay, so each creature in the air must make creature takes 3d on a failed saving throw, or half as much on a successful one. So he's going to take 3d12 damage. Roll 3d12. He's going to take 8 points of damage. Oh no, what is that? 10 points of
21.
damage.
10, yeah.
Yeah.
So 10 points of damage, and the ground in the area becomes difficult terrain until cleared.
So that's not a concentration spell,
That's
correct?
not a concentration spell.
Good to go.
Yeah.
So keep the square up there. So you guys see this parapet that's been hewn from the stone. What was probably a rather large stalagmite hewn down and shaped, and it erupts up, and you see a mixture of mud, magma, and stones spray up like a geyser up in the air. Small pebbles start raining down upon you, Pachua, as you hear the guy screaming as large boulders are falling down on him. He's rolling around up there, but then you see his head poke up as he takes 10 points of bludgeoning damage. Erdos, anything else you want to do on your turn?
No, that's it for Erdos.
All right, fantastic. The bottom archer here is going to take a step. Actually, no, he's just going to turn where he was. And he's going to take 2 shots at Pachua. Misses both. And the arrows sail, one in between your legs, Pachua, into Giffen. The other one over your shoulder into Giffen. And he now has 3 quills sticking out of him as a dead porcupine laying
Peter
on the
quills
ground.
or regular quills?
Yes. Pachua, what would you like to do?
How high is this up here?
So from the parapets as you go up, they're about 15 feet, with an extra 5 foot, about 3.5, I guess is what a typical guardrail is whenever you're building a deck. So about 3.5 feet on top of that, so 18 feet up in the air.
Okay, so 1, 2. So could I, if I go down around here, could I make it up to about there? I think that's 8 squares, right? Or does going up a staircase slow me down?
That would be 40. The 40 feet of movement. So if you have that movement, you're fine.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So
Like if
I will
it
move to
was
there.
a slope or something that isn't like actual, purposely built stairs,
Yeah.
and you didn't do as much lunges in your off time as you do, then it'll be good to go. I need to mute out for 1 second. I've got to be a father.
I can attest to the fact he does a lot of lunging. It's kind of inappropriate, the amount of lunging he does.
Yeah, thanks everyone for being here tonight. It's pretty good turnout. It's roll 20 side sessions turning out pretty good. Tim, did you forget how to turn your 3D dice? You're muted too.
I have been using them.
Oh, have you? I hadn't seen it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let's see. Can we talk about how handsome Pachua's player is and how clever the name is? He is a handsome devil, that is for sure.
So I apologize for that. Apparently, I have a child running loose through a dungeon somewhere, and she found her way out of her room. So we are squared away. She's going back to bed, and we can continue. So go ahead and make your attacks, Pachua.
Rapier first. That is a 19 to hit.
19 hits.
For 10 damage. And then the GLO is an 11 to hit.
You were overly familiar with Grandma's letter opener and gave it a nickname, and it failed you.
Yeah.
That's a miss.
And I will stay where I'm standing.
Okay. Hanzo is going to attempt to recharge his Astra. And does not. So he will make 2 regular katana attacks.
Tim, you're muted, by the way.
It dismays me that he's going to get more than one of those.
That hits. And
Thanks, dude.
that hits as well. So
Well, at least it ain't 5.
it's true. So 22 points of slashing damage reduced to 11.
Jeez. I'm not going to last too much longer at this rate. Alright.
That is the end of Hanzo's turn. Genji, what would you like to do?
Yeah, I think I'm going to attack him back.
It's a technique. It's a best practice. Let's do it.
Yeah, alright. First attack. 20.
20 hits.
And the second attack.
Come on, nat 20.
Oh, I saw it there for a second. 24.
Yeah, two solid hits. Roll damage.
So that is 13 on the first one.
And don't forget, like, you've got your ancestral guardians. Is that if somebody else, like, you're altering somebody else's attack?
Yeah, no, I just haven't used them yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Just intentionally have not used them yet. And then 8, so 21 more damage.
Okay. So you are hearing for the rest of you guys, just this metal on metal clang, 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 and then a sickening wet noises here and there. The grunts between these two combatants, as you can tell that the two attacks that we're rolling, it's not just ting 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 ting, it is clank 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 clank, and one will find an opening and exploit it, the other one will feint and be able to bring around on the other end. And so they're making some solid connections back and forth. It seems to be a very evenly matched bout so far. The top archer is going to render aid to his buddy on the other side, and is going to roll, make 2 attacks. The first one hits, second one hits.
Ouch.
So you take 12 piercing damage as 2 arrows come sailing across the gap between the 2 parapets, and one hits you in the side of your right knee, the other one coming in and glancing off of the back of your neck, causing your hair to billow out ever so majestically.
I'll uncanny dodge the second one.
All right, so that is 7 points cut down to 3. So you would have 5 plus 3 is 8.
8 damage, yeah.
All right, Erdos, your turn.
Don't worry, boss. I'll take care of that son of a bitch.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and 5, 10, 15, 20, 20, wait, I didn't do that right. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 is where I should be, because I counted at 5, 10, 15, 20.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
So I am going to whip my hand out and throw a little bit of mud in the air and cast Thorn Whip and grab try to grab the guy on the
So what's the range?
What? It's a 30-foot ring on Thorn Whip. I lose you guys in Skype.
So if he was standing straight in front of you on even ground, 30 would reach him. But we are going up 15 feet as well. So you need to take that into account.
Okay. Well, I did not take that into account, so that will change my action.
Yeah, it's gonna be more than 30 feet.
Yep. All right. So then I shan't do that. What I shall do, though...
and if you try cheating like that again, I'm going to kick you out of Roll20, just like I just did, apparently.
I hit the back button on my damn browser accidentally.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Not a best practice.
Shit, that's... yeah, I guess I'm going to do... Fudge. I really can't do anything at this point.
You could jump into the fire.
No, I'm not. I'm going to go ahead and drop the wall of fire, though. And I'm going to move. I'm going to use my action to dash 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 at the base of the wall here.
Okay. Very good.
And that's the end of my turn.
Okay. So the archer that's there with Pachua, you've seen this move before. They just drop the longbow on the ground, draw a sword, and he's going to make 2 slashes at you. First one is a miss. Second is a natural 20. Let's go and shuffle up them Nord cards. So a little aside, we had poker whenever the regular Nintendo came out as a kid, and my favorite part was the 8-bit sound of him shuffling cards because it sounded like a fart. How mature I was growing up. My brother and I just giggle like crazy. Okay. So he is a... I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, Pachua.
Oh! So close.
That is a 10.
Okay, so he swipes the first one, and you jump up over it, and he's able to come back, and he hits your Achilles tendon and cuts it. I need you to roll a d6.
Dose.
All right, so for the next 2 rounds, any movement that you take, you have to make the Constitution saving throw again. On a failed save, you're going to fall prone, so you're currently prone right now on the ground. We'll go ahead and do damage. So 10 points of slashing damage to your Achilles tendon as you are now prone on the ground. Erdos, you see Pachua disappear out of sight, and you hear an audible groan over the wall. You can still see that Jade Archer standing over him. That will move us to top of round 4. Pachua, you were prone on the ground. Your foot hurts like a son of a bitch. What would you like to do?
I'm going to stand up.
Okay, Constitution saving throw.
18.
Okay, yeah, so you're able to get your footing standing up, and at the end of your next round will be your last round to have to roll for making movement. What actions would you like to take?
2 attacks on the guy right in front of me.
Yeah, roll them.
12.
12 does not hit.
All right.
Grandma's letter opener.
27.
Yeah, there it is.
All right,
The
roll
GLO.
9 damage.
Nice. And so again, the rapier, being such a small, pointy implement, easy for him to relatively be able to pop his shoulder back and sidestep. Grandma's letter opener always finds an opening and pops in. and you get a decent amount of spray coming off this as you reach around his waist and pull and cut the small of his back. Not noticing, but the camera notices some type of Kazakuran tramp stamp that you've now defiled. Let's go to Hanzo's turn. So he is going to roll a d6 to see if his Astra recharges. It does not. And he will make 2 attacks. First one is a miss. Second one hits. And that will be 10 mitigated down to 5 slashing damage. And he looks you in the eyes and says, just like you abandon us, your friends will abandon you. You will die. You are weak. Death is close. You are already dead, Genji. And it is now Genji's turn.
And I'll just say to him, "Oh, Hanzo, don't you know? The ancestors and the dragon that patronizes Yoshimitsu clan is eternal, as is the justice that my blade will swiftly bring to your wrongdoing." And I will attack him twice.
Very good.
Uh, 24 to hit.
Come on,
Wait,
that 20.
hits. Hey, shut up over there.
And a 12.
Okay. So the 24 hits.
Whoops. How about you put the slash in there, buddy? Oh, maxed it out. 16 damage.
There you go.
I need a couple more of those.
All right. So the epic battle, as they're kind of rotating around each other and hitting back and forth, it goes rather prominent. Archer, the top one over here, looks over at Pachua and takes his shot. 2 of those at him. First one is a hit. Second is a miss.
Does that miss still hit Geffen somehow?
Wait for my narration, please.
Okay.
8 points of piercing damage. The second one, trying to score a more lethal blow on you, he shoots a little bit low. The arrow glances off of the stonework and starts flipping backwards and lazily falls directly into Geffen's abdomen. 4 quills now protruding forth.
And I will uncanny dodge that.
Okay,
first one.
so that takes it down to 4. He then moves back in his position, and Erdos, your turn.
Yep. So Erdos is going to. So that got moved. That's difficult terrain, just so you know, that he moved across.
Yep.
Okay. So Erdos is going to go 5, 10, 15, 20. Do I have line of sight on the archer at the top of the wall there? And is he within 30 feet if I go here?
You would have line of sight on him, yes.
Is he within 30 feet?
Yes.
Cool. So I'm going to do the same thing. Whip out my hand and pull him down towards me, casting Thorn Whip. And it's 1d20 plus 7. We're gonna take that one. 16.
16 hits.
Cool. I roll 2d6. Does 5 points of damage, and I pull him 10 feet towards me.
All right, so he is laughing at Pachua taking another arrow and is gearing back mid-swipe when a familiar sight comes as a thorny, sappy branch comes whipping around, this time bites across his chest and yanks him off into space. So Pachua, where there was once a archer, he has thrown off. I'm going to put a marker down. And let's make it brown. His bow lays there where at his feet where he once was. Roll an additional d6 for falling damage.
2 points of damage.
Okay.
Thanks, Kuro. We're trying our best, Kuro.
And so he falls. He needs to roll a dexterity saving throw. And he's going to do this to avoid the falling prone, but he does not. So he lays prone at your feet, Erdos.
Great.
Nice.
And then for a bonus action, I'm going to yell up at my boss. I hope you really feel better! And cast Healing Word, 3d4 plus 4.
So he just has to be able to hear you, correct?
Does he have to hear me or see? The creature choice that you can see within range.
So you cannot see him since for how close you are,
15,
for
20.
how far back he is.
What if I move back 10 more feet? 5,
Yes.
20. Okay, so I'll do that.
But that's going to give the archer an opportunity attack.
He's prone.
Even if he's prone.
Oh, no. Yeah, you're right. He is prone, as I was.
And now I'll do Healing Word, 3d4
Okay.
plus 4. Roll 3d4 plus 4.
Nice.
Pachua, 15.
Damn.
Very good.
That was a 3rd level spell. So
Yeah, so you guys rather bleed from your exchanges. Pachua looking the best out of all of you. You
my
see the archer stand up and slowly starts pooping out a brown line. And the poop disappears. And he moves up to make 2 slashing attacks at Erdos. First one is a 7, which misses. Second misses with both of those. Clearly his bell rung from being tossed like so many salads before him. Top of round 5, Pachua, what would you like to do?
So this is 15 feet down.
Well, if you're going over the lip,
So
it's
18
actually
feet.
18 and a half because the code.
They should have built the code.
All right, so 1, 2, 3.
You think the City of Austin inspectors are bad? Wait till you go to the elemental plane of Earth.
All right, so I'm gonna move to here.
yeah, they haven't implemented Code Next on the other plane yet.
Not at all. Give me a dexterity or acrobatics.
If I'm going around down the stairs.
He can make it if
okay.
he walks around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to go.
Do I need to make my Constitution save before I move, though?
Yes, you do.
All right.
Oof.
12.
Feet, my friend, and you met it. So you were good.
All right. All right, so 2 attacks on this guy.
Roll it.
13.
13 does not hit.
Oh.
11.
Does not hit.
I almost don't like the 3D dice because you see how much they're about to
I
stick
know.
to something good.
So your foot, the damage that you took, your sock and your boot are filling up with blood, and so you hear like this sloshing, like each step as he's coming up, and it's hard for you to really be able to pivot off of this to get much rotation to make your attacks, and so you just barely miss. But you feel like going forward, you're going to be able to suck it up and muster through. Hanzo.
Now it's getting real.
roll 1d6. And does not recharge his Astra. He will make 2 attacks. First is a 7, which misses. Second, that will hit. Yeah, it does. We need to roll 9, mitigated down to 4 slashing damage. And he will pivot to up here. Genji, your turn.
Alright, I will pivot to here. And then I'll comment, Hanzo, your stamina seems to be running out. It's almost as if you did not spend your entire life training as a samurai. And then I'll attack.
Alright.
First attack. It's 18 to hit.
18 hits.
And then second attack. Oh, come on! 19 to hit.
19 hits.
Alright. First, 14 damage.
Okay.
Next is 9 damage, so 23.
Nice. All right. Any other incidentals or bonus actions you'd like to take?
Negative.
Alrighty. Moving forward, this archer walks up here, and he's going to take 2 shots against Erdo. I keep looking to get freaking dice to pick up and roll, this digital newfangled stuff you kids do. And 2 arrows miss, but find a home in Geffen.
Is that 6 in him now? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can we get a quill count?
Yeah.
On the
Gotcha. Yeah.
All right, Erdos, your turn, sir. 2 arrows have just sailed over your shoulder, squishily landing into what was once Geffen Cauldry. A guy that just wanted to evangelize the beauty of mud.
Yeah. So I am going to look up at the archer behind me and throw some mud up, or dirt and mud up at him, and rip my arm down and cast Thorn Whip at him as well.
Roll it.
21.
There we go.
21 hits.
And it hits for 6 points of damage, and I pull him 10 feet towards me.
All right, roll another d6. And he's going to roll a dex save.
4.
All right, so he's able to catch his footing. So that's 10 total. Okay. And he is engaged to be engaged. All right. Then this archer down here with his blade already drawn is going to make 2 attacks against Pachua. Hit. And that will be for 10 slashing damage, Pachua.
I will uncanny dodge the first one.
So that is 6 down to 3, so 7 total. And we should actually do that in serial from now on. I'll instead of combining them together, I'll do them one at a time. You can choose whether or not you want to do the first and then the second. All right. Top of round 6, Pachua. You've just been slashed twice by a guy that got rope whipped, thorn whipped off of the parapet. What would you like to do?
I'm going to attack him twice.
Do so.
19 to hit. 11 damage.
Nice.
And then short sword attack. 16 to hit.
Hits.
Don't forget your
there's
sneak
7.
attack damage.
Oh yeah, that'll go at the end here. So I'm up to 18. Plus 16 more.
34.
So 34 damage.
Yeah. So he is Dunsky.
Yes.
Man.
And it's just a bloody mess there on the floor. Shit stain complete. All right, over to Hanzo. And his Astra is reinstated. And so after last round, the insults that Genji has hurled at Hanzo, he says, "No, it will be my judgment." And he does a flurry of 5 slashing attacks.
At this point, I'm going to try to channel the spirit in the armor and see if I can't mitigate, deflect, do something to help against that many attacks. I don't know if that's how that works or not, but...
Well, it would just give you an advantage on rolls.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind.
And that is 4 hits. Uh, 42 mitigated down to 21 points of slashing damage.
Crazy.
As Hanzo, with this blurring, fast flash of blade work, connects 4 times with Genji, and you guys hear Genji grunt, not in a way that like a hurt dog does, but more like if you were to poke a bear. You can hear the anger in him as he bleeds. Genji, your turn.
Alright, I think I probably only got maybe another 1 round after this. So I'm just going to quickly, under my breath, I'm so good, my blade. And then I'm going to use my advantage on both attacks.
Okay.
So the first attack... and then the second roll for that attack.
Don't you have any inspiration?
Double
or anything?
9.
Yeah, I'm going to use the inspiration on that one.
Okay, you can still roll this one at advantage.
And then rolling that at advantage. So that's a 24 to hit on the first attack.
24 hits.
And the second attack, it's at least a 22. 22.
All right, so the first swing that you come across was your pair of 9s, and you hit, and you see the crimson aura from your visor. There's a surge that goes over your face, through your arms, and trickles almost like snow on an old analog TV set. It kind of trickles instead of being this solid wave, but as it invigorates and hits your ancestral blade that Hanzo is using against you, you see it burning in his hands, and he reaches back and you're able to come and strike twice on him with 2 pretty substantial blows. Roll damage for those.
First attack does 14 damage.
Oh, we're getting close. We're getting close.
Second attack, 10. So another 24.
And so Genji takes one blast, and it hits and comes close to severing Hanzo's carotid artery. You see a look through his dragon mask on his armor, the look of surprise as that hits, the blade somewhat sluggish in his hand to be able to come up and hit with. The magic from your ancestral guardians that have gone through keeps him from being able to quickly switch to your backstroke. He's still moving up to parry your first, and you plunge the blade deep into his gut, and he kind of shakes and is sitting there on your blade, eyes wide, as we move to the other archer here that is standing behind Erdos. He takes 2 swipes at you. First one misses. Second one misses. And as Erdos is kind of kicking and dodging away, a large collection from his beard hair of poop and mud flings out into the open mouth of Geffen Cauldry's corpse and lodges somewhere deep in his throat. We will then move to Erdos. Your turn.
Yeah, this guy behind me, so doing my patented Thunderwave move, Ordos puts his elbows on his knees, sticks his posterior up into the air, and lets it rip with the power of the earth summoned from deep within his bowels, and Thunderwave at level 3. This,
oh no! It's
this
the Thunderwave power forward.
So Khan saved 15 as his earth fart strikes forth.
Jesus. He fails.
Yes. So that's 4d8 of damage. Roll 4d8. And he does 14 points of fart damage. And the guy is also flung. Was it 15 feet? 10 feet.
And he just hamburger meat as he is thrown up against the wall and collapses. The foundations of the bridge start to collapse. Hanzo and Genji are kind of knocked loose and drug diagonally as they're kind of trying to find their footing out there. Genji's blade stuck through the belly of Hanzo as he is about to fall backwards over the precipice into the magma fire. We are out of initiative. Genji, what are your actions?
Oh man!
Initiative between you and Hanzo, real quick.
A quick initiative, is that what you said?
Between the two of you.
Okay. First initiative roll is a 20. I'm sorry, 16. Second
okay.
one.
No, just one.
Oh, okay.
So you're a natty 1. Let me get a card.
Well, I roll at advantage though, so that's.
Yeah, but
count.
Let's just pretend like you failed and you fall in and you die. No.
Oh, great.
So you see Hanzo kind of blinking almost to consciousness, where before there was kind of a lifeless look in his eyes. You see that he's all of a sudden aware of his surroundings. What would you like to do?
Hanzo, take my hand. Come back from the edge. It is never too late to redeem yourself before your ancestors. And I hold out my hand to him.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. Where am I on persuasion? Nope, that's perception. +0. Oh boy. Yeah, 5.
Hanzo's eyes, you see, as you look at his face, he takes one hand and pulls off the mouth guard on his helmet and you see tears coming down his eyes. You see blood coming out of his mouth and out of his nose, and he says, "Brother, thank you for freeing me. But this is where we must part." And he holds your ancestral blade up for you to grab.
Okay. I cast aside the shoddy, dishonorable ninja sword that I'm using right now.
Get it in his stomach right now.
Yeah, oh, it is? Okay. Well, then I'll let go of it. And then I will, with both hands, I will gently pick up the blade that he's handing to me.
So he's got two hands out, and you take one hand to put to the hilt and the second to the blade, letting go. And Hanzo falls back and starts to careen down. And he calls out to you, "You must protect Uyina." And he falls.
He's doing like the Hans Gruber off the bridge.
Yes.
No, Hanzo! And then I'll fall to my knees and just kind of sit there contemplative.
And
Wow.
that where we will leave the action this evening.
Man.
Genji, you feel a sense of honor return to you. While you do have one of your blades sundered from your conflict with the ninja, you have been able to recover your other. Going over, and as you guys are looking through some of the accoutrement over there by where Geffen's quill-filled body is at, you do happen to notice, I've got to pull up and send you a picture. Let me see what that's called in the book real quick. I apologize. Handout 2.
When you watch this on replay, I just want you to notice when we switch from the action sound to this really melodic elven flute, it was like sound engineering masterpiece. Just want to say.
Okay. Even though we couldn't hear any of it?
When you watch this on playback, it'd sound really cool.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Handouts.
It's an elven flute. You can tell it's an elven flute because it's a little fruity.
Because it was made by real elves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't find the goddamn.
It's definitely coming through elven wood. You can tell it has more harmonious sound. When I close my eyes, I see Orlando Bloom when I listen to this.
Alright, so I can't really show you, but in Hanzo's stuff, I'll have to get the handout to you guys here later. You see a cube similar to what you saw Glasmaline carry whenever she was talking about being able to go invisible. You find one of these, and it looks like there is some kind of large frog on it with its tongue sticking out, and the frog's tongue forks. It's very large, and instead of like globular eyes right here, there's a stalk that comes up, and there's 3 eyes on it.
Oh, weird.
And it is now emanating with a crimson glow. So you collect that, we'll adjudicate what that is about, and you find a set of letters that go between A and Hanzo and an individual by the name of Ross Nisi. And Rosnisi and Hanzo have apparently been raiding Omu to find the puzzle cubes.
Is this it, Lee? What you're talking about?
Yes, perfect.
Wow. Interesting.
Thank you for the save.
Yeah.
I couldn't get through the supplemental materials on here for some reason.
Okay.
All right. So
Awesome.
we really do appreciate you guys coming in and spending the Wednesday evening with us. For those that went ahead and followed, we really do appreciate it. We try to get this game together, the Baleful Hell campaign, once every other week. We have little offshoots here and there to be able to catch up everybody. Again, D&D 5th edition is what we're playing here. June 1st, which is this Saturday, will be our next session. So make sure that you tune in, and we will see what transpires between the rest of the party who have just taken down to Zindorl, also known as Tinder, the red dragon of Wyrmheart Mine, and how they, as they are starting to go across the plains of Ash and move their way east, what they're able to come across, which we will have a discussion. And you also have this page here that you find within the letters, Tim.
Oh, nice. So it's a bit of the missing map.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we'll pick up. We'll do your honor adjustments and get caught up on that. We're overdue for that. And
okay.
That's where we'll pick up. Alec and Billy, really enjoy the flavor you guys brought. Thank you very much for joining. And for those of you watching, thank you very much. And we'll see you on Saturday. Good night.
Thanks, everybody.